spring, I was in Havana, Cuba for 7 weeks. I rode the buses every day, twice a day. And this street, I was taking the bus, took the turn. I saw the crocodile. After I took the turn, I realized what the graphic was above. It's a propaganda about the Imperialista, that was U.S., that was a symbol of the U.S. So I did lithography in Havana, but there'll be a few photographs here. I went to a cumpleaños, this young girl who is in the background there licking her fingers. She was 9 years old. This was a fabulous party. And a very unusual gallery, art gallery, these mime students. This was the first night of the Biennale, the International Biennale in Havana. These mime students are watching Charlie Chaplin in modern times, so great inspiration for them. I'm curious about the use of the symbol of Che. I was in other countries in Central America, and it's Che, Che, Che on every imaginable surface, every imaginable commercial use. And here the trash cans look like his beard, and then there's love, and just a contradiction. Here's a graphic I made of the icon of Che with, now we have about 4 layers of significance there. Che, Mickey Mouse, the Christian cross, and the crosshairs of a gun. He was assassinated, and he was an assassin. So it seems appropriate to conflate all of the possible images. So I did lithography at a workshop. I actually went there to try to work for the Biennale, but they didn't want me, they didn't need me. So I went to a lithography workshop. It's too short to get into the whole story. Lithography, you draw on stone. You have to draw backwards. The first image, I was walking in Havana, and the policewoman got in a fight with my friend and said, "Mira." She was the authority. This one is, I was running out of money, and I made 3 images on one piece of paper. You'll see this 3 separate images. It might be hard for you to read, and if you don't know Spanish, it says hijo de puta, which is son of a bitch or son of a whore. And I had imagined this actually about that size as a painting, but I made it as a litho. Again, everything has to be drawn in backwards. I took a photo of this tank that Fidel drove in the Bay of Pigs invasion of the U.S., which the Cubans called Playa Guillón. They're very proud of having repelled the American invasion. Anyway, Fidel drove this, and this was a sign with the history of that image. So I put in the very tourist bus in the track area and a band symbol over the sign, banning Che. I was in Guatemala just before this. This is a blind drawing of a Mayan sculpture. Blind meaning I kept my eyes on the sculpture, not looking at the paper. And so I needed something wild to hold that first lithograph together. Here is an image of Che, an anonymous image from the 60s or 70s, I'm guessing. And to me, this is the promise of Che. Well, I'm not sure about what that's all about, but here is my response. In Illustrator, I took the beret and made all of these rays coming out of it as though they were ovnis, Spanish for UFOs. And down on the bottom, the people are still crying for water, food, help, employment, whatever. This, up in the upper right-hand corner, a very famous statue of Jose Marti pointing to the equivalent of an American embassy. It's called the American Interest Building. He's pointing accusatively at that building, and so I made this illustration. I rode at that kind of bus every day. Meanwhile, there are all these tourist buses. The comparison was really stark between the Cuban buses and the tourist buses. Here it says, "Por qué, why? This is walking from the right-hand side, the little notch is Guantanamera, and this little star shape here is Havana. And his footsteps are because, por qué. The response to the blockade, this is my proposal, the Cuban Canal right through the United States. Curiously, most, not all, but most of the northern states are so-called blue states, and most, but not all, states in the South are red states. This is another poster from the 60s, a las armas, and the guy is holding a rifle. Well, I took that and changed it, as you'll see in a second. This was another anonymous poster that I discovered. To a las almas, and almas is Spanish for soul, and instead of rifle I drew clouds. This is a lithograph. Everything, again, has to be done backwards. I'd never done lithography before. I'd hoped to work for the Biennale. They didn't need my help, so I stumbled upon a workshop, a vast printmaking workshop. The gallery where you saw the kids, the mime kids, this was just on the exterior of it, and the gallery owner let me paint the same image on the walls there. This is the very first day of the Biennale, and I was incredibly happy to be doing this. A graphic poem I wrote in Spanish. I'll translate. Poem Grammatica for those beginners who are struggling with verbs. I would like to put my reflexive pronoun at the end of her infinitive, but su is ambiguous. It could be his also. So be careful what you wish for. This is the last image. The stilt walker for the tourists. A photo of me, and that's a glass gun that was behind a behind a window, and so it was all conflated in one image.